In my last video, I packed up the trailer and headed south for the first time in over 2 years. After an easy border crossing, I was back in the home of the brave. I'm in good old US of A. It's been a long time. I love this place. It was a few degrees below zero, but with every tank of gas, it got a little warmer. I'm near Kennebunk, Maine. It's a little noisy, because that's the I-95 in the background. Just stopping for a pee and pizza. An essential stop in Bangor put me a little behind, so when I crossed over the Piscataqua Bridge, the light was already starting to fade. At the Charlton Service Plaza in Massachusetts, it was time to pull over for the night. Well, I didn't stay at a hotel as I thought. I stayed at a rest stop. It's just a little noisy, but they have good coffee. Heading west on I-90 took me up into the mountains. It was very picturesque with all that snow on the branches. I didn't mind seeing it at least one last time. As the snow finally gave way to greener pastures, the traffic piled up. Gridlock. Don't know why. I don't even know where I am, but everybody seems to be here at the same time. Driving south on I-81 took me through New York State, Pennsylvania, the Mason-Dixon line, and West Virginia. But night caught up with me again after crossing the Potomac River, so I pulled into an RV park for the night. It was awfully expensive and noisy, but I was beat. A quick meal and some online time, and off to bed. The next morning started off a little wet. Well, it's day 3. First 2 days, just on the road. Made it through Maine. A little bit of snow. Boston area. I actually skirted around Boston area and went to Highway 90. I had to go north to go south, but after reading so many comments about taking the I-95 through New York and Washington, I decided, I don't want to deal with that. I just do not like freeways. So I skirted around it. It's taking me a lot longer. I've just got into Virginia right now. I was in West Virginia last night. It's been raining. Right now it's not too bad. Traffic is okay. The roads are reasonably good. It's just, it's an awful lot of driving. I've been driving until sunset. If I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I've been concentrating on driving. I haven't done the drive and talk for some time because I was a little nervous about doing it on these highways. I'm a little bit more comfortable, but I'm still keeping an eye on the road. I'm paying attention to the camera. No issues so far. I have to give myself credit. I have not got lost on a freeway yet, and that's something that happens to me a lot. I just am not comfortable with freeways, but I'm taking it easy. I'm being cautious, and I think it's paying off. I'm glad to be out on the road again. I'm glad to be in the USA. I love the USA. There's just so many places to travel. All the people I meet are friendly. I'm just so excited that I had the opportunity finally to come down south and say hello. Hello, USA! After one last mountain pass, I descended through the clouds and made it to a little gravel road in the woods. I had now reached my first real camping destination. Nice and easy. Just how I like it. It is so warm here. I mean, warm to me, it's probably about, 65 degrees Fahrenheit. I came from Canada. It's been below freezing for days. A little humid. I'll have to get used to this, but I think I can handle it. That was a lot of driving. I need a break. Now, I don't really need the awning right now. Actually, I was hoping the rain would wash some of the dirt away. But because the awning's been sitting for like 2 or 3 months rolled up, and there's been moisture and ice and snow, I need to dry it out. Before I go too far, I'm just going to use a little lube on the rails. Because if any salt or mud's got in there, it might not open properly. Okay, let's try that. Good as new. Well, as might be expected, I don't have much of a cell phone signal. I guess it's 1 bar, but it's really just a dot. That's not even, I wouldn't even call that a bar. It's pretty low, let's put it that way. Actually, let me just see if I can find my app to see what the signal exactly is. Okay, here we go. It is minus 126. That's pretty low. So let's see if I can boost that. Now I do have my Wii Boost, and I also have this antenna, which I mentioned in the last video, and I made an error because I called it an omnidirectional antenna, and it's not. It's unidirectional. You've got to point it right at where the cell tower is. I think the reason I called it omnidirectional is because I used to have a Dodge Omni a long time ago, and it was definitely unidirectional because it made it to Milk River, and then I put a hole in the piston and it never made it back. I had to take the bus. But let's see, I'm going to set this up, put it up the pole, see if we can get a little better of a cell signal.
I usually edit out my bloopers, but what the hell. Whoops! Take two.
Okay, the antenna is plugged in, as hopefully you can see up there, and I now have 110. Well, it keeps changing. It was 110 when I looked at it, now it's 117, 113, but the best signal I can get at least is 110, which is a lot better than the 126 I had. So I've got 3 bars, and that's good enough. One thing I really hate about this Wii Boost, this particular one, and I'm hoping to get something new, is it's on a cradle. So I'm actually hooked up to a wire that's going all the way back inside my trailer. Bit awkward. It does not work with just holding up the phone. It has to be on the cradle. So yeah, about due for an upgrade, I think. Well, it's time to take off the Crocs, put on the hiking boots. So after 3 days of driving, seeing nothing but rest stops and gas stations, it's time to do a little wandering around. The woods are calling me, and I hear them.
With no rain the last few days, the leaves were nice and crispy.
Does it seem I pick on light beers too much? I wonder why.
Anytime I hike, my eyes are always on the lookout for something unusual. This may seem to some as one of the ugliest creatures in the world. But from the other side of its web, it looked fascinating. I see the Statue of Liberty wearing a goalie mask. Just one last climb to get to the top of the hill.
Well, it was just a little hill, but it's a great starting point, and the view's fantastic. Okay, I think I'm finally settled in here. I've got a cell signal, I have some shade when I need it, and I have a beautiful campsite. And by the way, and it's somewhere where it's warm, it's t-shirt weather. Now there's two things I haven't actually talked about. One is where I am and when I was here, or when I am here now. Today is December 31st. So yes, it is New Year's Eve. And the sun's about to go down. When it comes up, it's not only going to be a new day, it's going to be a new year. And I think it's one that everybody is looking forward to. 2021 has been a challenge for the whole planet. So let's get it over with. Now, as far as where I am, I'm in North Carolina. And North Carolina is somewhere I've never been before, but it was on the radar. I knew I was going to be here before I left Canada. And one of the reasons I was in North Carolina is because I was really hoping I was going to get a chance to meet somebody. Somebody that watches my videos, somebody that does videos himself. And I was really looking forward to this. Unfortunately, and I only learned on my way down that person's no longer with us. And that's kind of sad. It just, it just sort of shows you never know. And the person I'm talking about was Camo Dave. And Camo Dave, his main interest was people that traveled and nomads. And it's just sort of sad. If I'd just been a couple of days sooner, maybe this had happened. But I did at one point, like I never knew him, but we've had some really minor communications. But I did say at one point that, of all the people on YouTube, you're one of the few that I'd like to have a beer with. And that's what I was planning on doing. Well, it's never going to happen now. However, I still have the beer. So instead of having a beer with Camo Dave, I'm going to have a beer to Camo Dave. So Camo Dave, wherever you are, here's to you. Oh, double IPA. Now that's a beer.
Crazy things happen with the right kind of refreshment, so I'll end it here with a little silliness. I'm safe, happy, and the world's ahead of me. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and you continue to follow me as I explore the Southeast US. And to all my friends and YouTube family, all the best and a Happy New Year.